Welcome to the Athena Wellness Podcast, the show that invites you to take a seat around the community fire and listen to stories that inspire. I'm your host, Kathy Robinson, author, coach, and founder of Athena Wellness, a company that's dedicated to supporting you as you create your next chapter, turning life transitions into transformation. Hello and welcome, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Today's podcast is all about tailoring solutions for yourself through intuitive wellness. We'll explore what it means to listen to your body, let go of rigid rules, and create a sustainable lifestyle that supports your overall well-being. Whether you're a seasoned wellness enthusiast or just starting your journey, I hope you enjoy and find value in this episode and new ways to implement your inner wisdom. If you're like me, you've likely invested countless hours exploring various health philosophies and regimens. While experimentation is a valuable part of the journey, it's crucial to remember that the goal of any wellness protocol is not perfect adherence. It's to enhance life. True well-being includes physical, mental, and emotional health. It's about finding a balance that works for you rather than strictly following a prescribed set of rules. I'm Kathy Robinson, and I've been on that rigorous wellness path. In today's show, we'll explore how to let perfectionism go and welcome the new year with an intuitive wellness plan. Intuitive wellness is a holistic approach to health and well-being that emphasizes listening to your body and mind. It encourages you to trust your inner wisdom and make choices that align with your unique needs and desires. Rather than following rigid diet plans or exercise routines, intuitive wellness focuses on finding what works best for you and adjusting your practices as needed. To be clear, an intuitive approach is not a way to bypass the attention and work that it takes to stay well. It means that instead of following someone else's plan, you create your plan. That's why, as a coach, I'm such a fan of principles and practices, which allow me to help others create a personalized framework that moves them toward their intentions while working within the confines of their abilities and lives. There were several events that got me into a reflective mood and spurred my thinking on this topic. The first was the recent passing of a renowned plant-based physician this summer. Dr. John McDougall, a vegan pioneer, wrote 12 books on the plant-based lifestyle. He was 77 years old when he died in his sleep. And while he passed peacefully with no known health issues, it seemed quite young to me given his commitment to his health. The second happened earlier this month when a celebrated vegan chef shared that she had stage 3 lung cancer. Chef AJ also wrote books on plant-based living, focusing on whole foods and minimizing salt, oil, and sugar. Thankfully, she still feels well despite her advanced diagnosis and chalks that up to her healthy lifestyle. But it gave me pause, given that my eating habits are aligned with hers in many ways, and she's only a few years older than I am. And that led me to the third event, my own process of revisiting my wellness protocols in light of the passing of my 101-year-old father last year and my 60th birthday earlier this year. All of these experiences are poignant reminders of the importance of staying healthy as long as possible. So when health challenges do occur, and they will, you can face them from a position of strength. They also underscore the truth that there is no singular universal path to optimal well-being, and we don't get extra points for adhering to our protocols perfectly. In fact, in many cases, the stress of perfectionism is subtractive. And that's where intuitive wellness comes into play. By tuning into your body's needs, you can optimize your energy levels, improve your mood, and enhance your overall quality of life. This personalized approach empowers you to create a sustainable and fulfilling lifestyle. There are numerous places in your life that you can apply intuitive wellness principles, such as your body, your mind, your spirit, your relationships, your career, how to be a lifelong learner, and creative adventurer. But for the ease of illustration and brevity, we'll focus on the body, both nutrition and movement, for the rest of this talk. Just keep in mind that you can apply this strategy to any area of your life. The benefits of applying intuitive wellness to your nutrition and movement are numerous, and they include developing a positive body image by focusing on health, enhancing your self-awareness by tuning into your body's signals, increasing your energy through increased blood flow, and enhancing your mood due to the balanced diet and physical activity. As you might expect, there are challenges too, such as unlearning all of the social cues relating to diet and exercise culture, learning to reconnect with your own body, and practicing self-compassion when the inner critic arises. But here's the biggest obstacle that I faced when I began to implement intuitive wellness: trusting myself. And the way I worked through that barrier was to experiment a lot with the things that I was reading and listening to, and then tailor that approach to my own needs. Over time, I created a personalized toolkit that is ever evolving as I continue to grow and change. And that's the beauty of this approach, utilizing the best external advice and resources to create true transformation for yourself through self-awareness, reflection, and strategies that align and grow with you. So how do we do this? Let's work with the body as an example. First, nutrition. Tell me if this resonates. You're looking to solve what you believe is a food-related problem. Maybe you put on a few pounds, or you feel like you're not digesting your food properly. Maybe you want to try a new way of eating altogether. So you do your research and you find a book or a program that's offering the result that you're looking for. So you give it a try. My guess is that you'll get good results in the beginning. And then it becomes harder and harder to adhere to the program. Your enthusiasm wanes, as does your progress. And so goes the illusion that this external solution is the fix. Why does that happen? Because someone else designed it for themselves. Trying a generic approach doesn't make it wrong. It just may not be the right solution for you in the long run. Now, what if you took that approach and began to tailor it to your own needs, especially as your progress began to decline? That's a perfectly fine place to start when you begin working with intuitive wellness. Here's a personal example. I've been on a healthy eating journey for decades, experimenting with vegetarianism, sports nutrition, clean eating, and veganism. I was on a business trip 20 years ago in Southern California when I found a book on something called raw food. I was intrigued. I bought the book and I read it cover to cover on the return trip home. And when I got home, I got out my food processor, and then I bought a high-speed blender and a dehydrator, and I started learning. I was already eating a lot of vegan food at the time, but this was a full notch up. I took classes, experimented with recipes, and found raw food restaurants in New York City and in my travels. It was like a little adventure. I was all in for about 8 months. And then it got hard. Even though I felt amazing, it's hard to get through a cold northeast winter in the US without warm food. And over time, I reintroduced cooked food. Yet I remember that time of connecting with my body and the excitement of learning something completely new. That book propelled me forward, not the author's way, but to my own way. Today, I am far from a raw foodist, but my kitchen bookshelf is filled with raw food recipe books because I found that for me, the guidelines of not eating anything that's been warmed above 118 degrees, which is when the nutrients begin to diminish, it was too stringent for me in the long term. But I discovered that I loved preparing, sharing, and eating what I now term as living food. This type of food is definitely a part of my diet. It's just not the whole diet. Now let's take a look at movement. Perhaps you've been looking to start an exercise program, change a well-established routine, or maybe you want to challenge yourself in some way. You may try getting some home equipment, joining a gym, or hiring a trainer. Maybe you even decide to train for an event like a 5K. Anything to infuse your physical activity with some fresh energy. Much like the nutrition example, there are a number of ways that you can research a new approach to fitness. And when you find something you like, you may choose to follow a specific program to learn the mechanics and then amend it when your interest shifts or it becomes less effective. It's how my fitness journey evolved. When I found myself woefully out of shape, unable to jog more than a minute at a time in my mid-30s, I bought a book that was popular at the time called Body for Life. It outlined a simple weight training aerobic routine and a basic bodybuilding diet. I followed it to a T, and I got great results. Over time, those simple home workouts gave me the confidence to sign up for a gym membership. And a few years later, I got more serious, and I worked with a personal trainer. As my fitness increased, I started boot camp workouts and ultra long distance cycling and running. Today, I do a mix of CrossFit, kickboxing, and hiking, along with daily walks. So those are two examples of how someone else's wellness philosophy can benefit you. Over time, you can embody the principles that work for you and find ways to combine it with other elements that you've experimented with until you create a way of eating or a workout routine that's tailored just for you. So let's break this into practical steps. Here's how you can cultivate your own intuitive wellness protocol. 1. Cast a wide net. An important component of honing your intuitive wellness toolkit is mindfully consuming an array of information. You can look to books, online videos, podcasts, classes, and personal experiences. Be clear on your intention of what you're looking to accomplish. That clarity will help you discern information that's of value to you from all of the noise of the one-size-fits-all type solutions. 2. Experiment and iterate. This is the key to the whole process. Try different approaches. See what feels right. Learn from your experience, rework your process, try it again. As you try new things, it's great to connect with mentors or coaches to seek guidance, support, and accountability. And 3, focus on what you can control. This means showing up and doing the best you can on that day. It means taking ownership of your time, thoughts, and actions. It means letting go of self-judgment and criticism by comparing yourself to your own progress, not to anyone else. I'll leave you with this as we conclude. The pursuit of wellness is a unique journey for each individual. While there are countless health philosophies and regimens, The most effective approach is one that aligns with your unique body, mind, and spirit. By relying on your self-awareness and self-compassion, you can break free from rigid diets and exercise routines and cultivate a nourishing lifestyle you can sustain for the long term. Intuitive wellness offers a refreshing perspective, encouraging you to listen to your inner wisdom and make choices that support your overall well-being in an enjoyable way. Experiment with different foods, movement activities, and wellness practices to discover what resonates with you. As you step into 2025, commit to a new way of exploring and supporting your well-being in a way that celebrates your individuality, feels nurturing, and empowers you to thrive. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know there are many ways you can spend your time. Thank you for choosing to spend it with me. Until our paths cross again, be kind to yourself and show your warrior spirit some love. If you know anyone who could benefit from today's episode, please pass it on. And many thanks for supporting the show by subscribing and leaving a review. It means a lot, and it helps others find their way to our circle. If you'd like to access the show notes, have a question you'd like addressed on a future episode, or would like a transcript of this episode, visit www.athenawellness.com/podcast. Until next time, be well.